Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of CoffeePod. And today it's definitely any topic, anywhere, anytime. I'm here with Gautam.
Hello.
And Gautam and I have worked together for how long now? At least 8 years?
6 years.
6 years?
6.5-ish.
Seems like more than that.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Thanks.
No, in a good way. But we always have, I think, the most eclectic sort of conversations, from talking about society and politics, or sci-fi or space or people or food, and
just falling down random rabbit holes.
Yeah, and that's the best thing, and that's what this show's always been when I interview someone. It's just about talking about any subject and just going down that rabbit hole and finding out, what you both think about a subject. And recently I've been thinking about, just with all the crazy shit that's happening in the world, I keep thinking, is there really a way to make like a utopian society, or to even venture down that road? Or, I'm thinking of like hippies in the 60s. Did they get it right and then we just destroyed them?
I mean, they did.
Is it possible to create another society from the one we have? Or is there anything wrong with the one we have? Or are we just doing it wrong?
Yeah.
So, I guess my first question would be, what would be the first steps to try and just stop all this madness? And I don't just mean America, or
you first need
all the world seems to be just nuts right now.
Nah, you need to start by first recording all problems.
Yes.
You're going to need a full-blown system for that.
And that's right. And then, so what do we call that? We call that our God's Zen desk.
Yeah, you come up with a ticketing system for all of world's problems.
Right. So like a ticketing system, people know what that is. Like, it just says an advanced email.
And don't give me your bullshit problems like, I want to win $1 million. Like, that's not a valid excuse or problem or anything of that sort. Like, give me something I can throw people at and fix it.
Right, okay, so that's the first thing, trying to solve people's problems in a logical way. So let's say God's not doing it because he's done. He must be busy. He's not helping. So we'll do it on Earth. So we came up, and I wrote these down from last time. So we said the average person, we give them 4 problems. Let's not go nuts.
Yeah, okay.
We'll give them 4 problems. That's what we said, right?
Yep.
Because, and I mean actual problems. Like I said, not I want a Ferrari. That's frivolous. Yeah. My kid has cancer. My leg's about to get cut off. Problems.
Yep.
And 8 billion people, is that our current status-ish?
Let's assume 8.
And so we said, 32 billion problems. 32 billion tickets, as if they've come up in a help center.
Yep.
All right? And then we said, what did we called them and said 60% were selfish.
Nah,
assumed.
Take about 40 to 50% out.
Yeah.
Because that's all selfish stuff that you don't really need. You're just being greedy.
Yeah.
And you're just taking up resources from other people's problems.
Yeah, I want to be taller, I want to be younger.
Yeah.
I want a beer, I want a Ferrari.
Like, stuff that's not really important.
And I think that came down to, I don't know how we got this figure. Yeah. It was 19.2 billion.
Legitimate issues.
No, then we had 12.8. Only 12.8 were legit.
Oh, yeah, 12.8.
How did you come up with that?
I think we just took 60% out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So 12.8 are legitimate.
Yeah, 40% of the problems in the world are things that you can just throw manpower at and fix.
Yeah.
So things like that.
Yeah.
So you got 12.8, rounded up, 13 billion problems.
All right.
Yep.
13 billion.
And
how do we take care of this? Are there enough people? Who would we use to take care of this?
Well, you got 1 billion people in India.
That's right.
That's 13 tickets per person.
Yeah, right. So that's what you mentioned. You said, look, there's a help center in India, and they're all going to take on the world's problems.
So assume 13 tickets per person.
Per person, that's right.
Even give them a whole week.
Well, we said 2 weeks. We gave them 2 weeks. Problem solved.
Yeah, okay. 2 weeks, 13 tickets, 2 weeks per ticket. How much does that work out to?
So that
26 weeks, that's half a year, 6 months, all of the world's problems, major
major
issues
problems solved.
taken care of.
Now, someone else brought up a good point. Is that it, or is that ongoing? Is that yearly? Is this going to go on forever, or is this you get four for your life?
That'll be ongoing. So you're going to have to keep them on their job for longer.
Well, that's true, and it gives jobs.
Yeah, true.
You need to keep
We're
jobs.
creating jobs. We're doing something
Creating
Trump
jobs.
promised and never did.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So that's the thing. Why isn't it? Why is it that hard to solve problems? Because if you just throw people at it,
Yeah, just
and
throw
a system,
people at it.
So let's say problems start.
And it's not just people pulling in favors or anything. These are problems where, like I said, you just throw manpower at it.
So let's say problems are starting to get solved legitimately. They're getting back to you. The help center reviews each one,
Yep.
and you get actual assistance. So
Assume by the time you're done with the how many did we have? 13 billion. Assume by the time you're done with the 13 billion problems, you get about 50% back.
yeah,
That's what, 6.5 bill.
yeah,
That's going to take you half the time, so that's 3 more months added on.
right.
And assume by the end of that, you get another 50% of that back. So that's what, a month and a half? So that progressively gets shorter. I think in about a year and a half, to be safe, you can solve all of the world's problems.
Well, that's probably assuming that's not going to happen. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
how
you never know.
How could we possibly go down a road of making a better world without this sort of thing on an individual basis? Again, talking about something like hippies in the 60s. Obviously, it didn't work out for them, but I find that there's like a new sort of movement, especially in America. A lot of people are deciding to, and not hippies, I'm talking like, I read one where it was a hardcore cop and his wife decided, you know what, we're done. They bought an Airstream, and they've totally just checked out. And they are happy living just a life right below off the grid.
Yeah.
And I mean way off the grid. Like sometimes they don't even hook up to city water. They've got all solar panels.
True.
And these people are not, they don't have beards. They're not all weird. They're just normal people who've decided to do an alternative lifestyle. And they seem fine. Is that just rare? Is that possible?
I think that's rare, and that's got to be harder for the lazy ones.
So is that it? Everyone's just lazy, and
Pretty much.
we need to be fed everything. It needs to be electricity, the toilet,
Yep.
TV, entertainment has to come
It's
into our
not
lives.
just laziness, it's a matter of convenience as well in your general day-to-day life.
So are we too beholden to electronics? Are we too tied to them now?
I think so, yeah.
But can't you be a tech hippie? Can't you bring the tech with you, and the technology lets you live the life you want rather than it lock you down and hold you down? Rather than you be a slave to your iPhone and your Wi-Fi and your technology,
But with
you
the good
use it.
comes the evil. Take whatever piece of tech you want. There's
Yeah.
always something you can do to, like, you can always use it in a negative way. And I don't mean negative way like, oh, you're doing harm to someone. Negative way in terms of you're not utilizing your time
pull that
better.
out a bit. That's all right. It happens.
You're just not using your time better.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's sort of sad because I believe like we watch TV and we're shown a world that we have to chase. And that's not new. It's just worse now. It's everywhere. I've got to have the car. I've got to look like that. I've got to have that kind of job. I've got to be that or there's something wrong with me.
You want to stay connected. You want 4G. You
I've
want
got to
Wi-Fi.
say, if I miss something, I'm stupid.
Yep.
Oh, didn't you hear about this? Trump did this or someone did this. No, I didn't. You're now immediately behind and you're not part of the conversation.
Exactly.
So how do you get off that train?
You can't. Unless everyone decides one day to just get off it together.
Oh my God. So we all have to decide collectively to
Yep.
change. So all these pockets of people trying to change, they're not going to make it. They can make it on their own, but the rest of the world's just going to eat them back up again.
But then again, you got to consider they can make it on their own, but how long is it going to last? How long before they just go back to their old life?
I suppose we didn't really define. So what's utopian society? Live and let live? Simple rules. I'm not saying a new constitution has to be written or some sort of doctrine.
Yeah, true.
Just do unto others as you want done unto you. Just chilled. Is that, or do people not want that? Do people?
Now, you can look at it from that perspective, or you can look at it from the perspective of, oh, what if you eliminate greed?
Oh, well,
And
that's
things like that.
I think that's just inherent in humans to want things.
True.
Unfortunately, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't have, do you remember that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy?
Yeah.
So, the simplest thing they did was show you how peaceful that tribe was out there.
Yep.
And they were very symbiotic. They worked together.
Exactly.
And what happened the minute the Coke bottle fell out of the sky?
It just
They found
ruined
it.
everything.
A kid picked it up, then the other kid wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, one of the kids took the bottle, boom, he bunked the kid on the head. That was it. The guy's journey was to take the evil thing away.
And they'd never
because it was a
experienced that kind
possession.
of a conflict before.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it can't be that simple. Everyone likes to have things that
Exactly.
are precious to them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're out in some simple tribe in the beginning of man 65,000 years ago, somebody had something that they liked, a rock. It was Gorg's favorite rock. And
I
Zorg,
guess-
and Zorg wanted to take it from me, and they fought. Is that it? Is that day one
Oh,
of fighting? He
I
took my
guess
thing.
In that case, you look to the movies. Just go by, if there's something big that comes out that's life-changing or routine-changing in your day-to-day life, everyone gets one.
And now
Why
that's
not?
one of those, communism looks good on paper.
Yeah.
Everyone has what they need.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, though, with actual society.
If it's
just-
enforced correctly, why not?
You used the word enforced. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound good.
That's the problem.
That's
isn't
the
it?
problem. So you can't have and I'll use the word anarchy, and I think everyone misconstrues this one. They picture guys out there with spiked hair, spray painting. I don't think they understand the core of that just means they don't believe in a ruler. They don't believe in an archetype that a king or a queen or a president or anyone that says, I think this is right for you. That's all it is. They believe that why can another man decide better for me than me? That's all. Why can't we decide for
Yep.
ourselves? But what happens when you have that kind of world? It doesn't work either. So there's let's say it's a small town and everyone gets along. Maybe some of them are family and friends. And someone gets in a fight.
Yeah.
Whoever gets in the middle of that, people will go look to him and say, "Oh,
You're gonna have
should be
people
you should be the sheriff."
Yeah.
Now that's it. Now you're the leader. Now
Exactly.
it gets worse and worse.
You're back to square one.
You're back to square one. So
The moment you add conflict, you got people taking sides. As simple as that. You got division right there.
so again, even in families, even in your own family, everyone knows nothing's
Yeah.
perfect. So you multiply that times millions and billions. We've got everybody fighting. So there is no such thing as a utopian society. It's not possible unless you're doped up or there's something wrong with your brain. Because you'd have to be, yeah, man, whatever. You'd have to just let whatever happen, and no one's
kidding.
like that. I don't know. Maybe that's why hippies did okay because they were just on drugs.
That's
They're
one
just
thing, and
chilled.
everyone else around them have the same opinions.
Yeah, right. Also, so is that it? You have to have similar opinions, and you create your little society, and then you can live. You can live with
Okay.
people with similar. But now we're talking something like that was what.
You got division, but you are surrounded by people that share the same opinion and choices.
But that sounds like something when the forefathers were writing the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, and these were brilliant men. You know what I mean? They're not
Yeah.
around anymore. These men, these Thomas Jeffersons, these people were. If their personal life, I'm sure, was screwed. But
Yeah.
that's separate. In their personal lives, they were probably bigots and womanizers. But I'll be honest, when it came to writing something that was actually going to change the world, they did well. But since then, it's just been misconstrued and completely screwed up. But I'm just saying there was a time when some men got together and wrote some eloquent things, you know?
Yeah, but then again-
freedom of speech and freedom and all these things were great. These things that are written are good ideas.
But then again, when they wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the amendments, they had other people in mind. They had the mass public's interest in mind. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
So I guess picking the right leader is important,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And we don't do that at all now.
Yeah, clearly. We've seen that last year.
Do you think that's because I feel like someone who decides I want to be in politics, I don't think they say it like that. They just want to help. They want to be involved, and they start small, and maybe they run for something in their own town, and people go, "You're really someone we want to get behind," and they're doing well. But unfortunately, as they get higher and higher,
they go off track.
If you want to get that position, you got to start
Yep.
paying people, handshaking. Well, we'll back you, but I want my new skyscraper put up. Really? So if you make that deal, now you made a deal.
Yep.
Shit. Now you made another deal. Now you're the deal maker. Is that it?
Absolutely.
You get corrupted on the way, and then it's
I think
over.
so, yeah.
Well, that's Jesus Christ. I'm already getting depressed.
Like, if you look back, even from examples from your U.S. presidencies and stuff,
Yeah.
Obama had the right ideas initially.
Yeah.
But eventually, like, he had no lobbyists sponsoring his campaigns and all that stuff. But towards the end, he was making deals. At the end of the day, when they lost their midterm elections, like, the last 2 years, he had no power. He couldn't do much.
Yeah.
He's just cooking up deals to get stuff moving in a parliament where he didn't have any control.
Yeah.
His party didn't have any control. I think that's where it's the system that's flawed.
Yeah. I know there's no, everyone goes, this is why no one talks politics, because people start arguing. But that's why these subjects are fascinating to me. You go, a Senate is the right way. Representatives who represent you, and you tell them, and they're your voice. Well, they had that in Rome. That didn't work out too well either towards the end. At first it did.
But that's the thing, like, in order to make life simple and easier, we come up with stuff that just ends up complicating it a whole lot more.
Yeah.
That's an example, computers is another.
So there can't be like the tribunal of smart people. Like someone who says, this guy is the best scientific mind, he will be the science representative. Well, this guy is the best at creating agriculture and symbiotic things in nature.
But we don't do
so
that.
he'll be that guy. And we'll just ask them to help us, and we'll suggest things to them. And they will get together and have a chat because they're smart. And they'll say, we would suggest this.
But that's the thing.
Can't it just be that? We don't have that right now. We have like all these old man senators who just...
But I guess why that doesn't happen is, the deals being made to get up to the top of the ladder
corrupt you on the way.
don't just corrupt you, those deals work against you as well while you're in office. What I mean is, like, to get up top to the position that I need to get to have some command and control, I've made deals that go against my beliefs and the well-being of the people I'll be governing. So,
I don't know. I'm sure many a person has sat around and had these conversations, and they thought they had the right idea, but they get just worn down. So we'll start smaller. So can't you just start with a smaller group of people? A town.
okay.
Can a town be a utopian society? Just
Absolutely.
a small town.
Yep, absolutely.
I think so too. I think there are towns out
Yep.
there that do their own thing and they're quite happy. There's no crime or low crime.
Yep.
And that has nothing to do with the people or where they're from. That's just that town. But having said that, those towns probably still have someone like a sheriff who doesn't take shit.
And another
And there's a
thing,
reason why the town has no crime.
those
I don't know.
towns will also be backwards. So the moment you add things like from your, what was the name of the movie again?
So what, they have to have no technology?
Not necessarily no technology, just not too much.
Yeah.
Gods must
The Gods
be
Must Be
crazy.
Crazy,
You
yeah.
had the tribe. That was perfect.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were trotting along fine till that damn Coke bottle fell from the sky.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one small item ruined it for everyone. The moment that landed, there was conflict. There was greed.
So then all those people, like I said, who are sort of living off the grid,
Yeah.
if you call them a society. But unfortunately, every once in a while, they have to check back in. They got to go to
Exactly.
Walmart. They got to get some water.
Exactly.
They got to buy some Coke. They got to buy some food. So unless they're out there actually being primitive man and hunting with a spear,
For that kind of stuff, you need an entire system change.
yeah,
You don't want them showing up on the grid at all with a credit card at a Walmart or a Safeway or anything. You want them to be supplied with everything. No charge. I think that's where it all started, with money.
money.
Yeah.
But trading goods, or trading goods for services, or is that
Yeah.
not?
Trading goods for services is fine.
So that's
You
still
work
fine.
hard for it.
It's when someone decides that the money system.
Yep.
Something is based on monetary value. That's not just I'll dig this hole and you will cook for me. That's a trading services.
Yep.
Is that not corrupt? That's still pretty safe?
Not necessarily, as long as it's negotiated from both
Negotiated
ends, both
properly.
parties agree.
Spit in the handshake.
Yep.
Good.
There you go.
Good. So what gets complicated when other people say, I have two guys and they're good at digging holes, but if you want my two best digging hole guys, you're going to pay me. You're going to cook me this many amounts of dinners. And is that when it starts getting complicated?
We're
You see
going
what I
back to
mean?
square one, yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Then
That's greed again.
That's greed again.
Yeah.
It's like something like Star Trek. I always say, it always sounds good, but we're so not there. It's unbelievable. Because in the Star Trek world, they don't have money. So
True.
again, but
That is true. I've never noticed that.
That doesn't necessarily work. There's still a hierarchy of like, if someone's a captain of a starship or of some seniority or you've done well, you will get more things than the guy who's the street sweeper in the Star Trek world. I'm
But
sorry.
then the
If I
street
want
sweeper works harder to get to that level,
yeah, but
doesn't he?
there's no money, but there's still goods and services going on.
So you said, you get my two best hole digging guys. If I want to beat the price that they're getting or beat something, if I want to get something more out of what I'm doing compared to them, I just work harder at it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Why won't that work?
So then that's a world where actually doing the best and working the hardest gets the right
Yep.
reward.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's not what you have right now.
That's true. That's actually true. If I get grunt and I dig that hole the best,
Yep.
I did it better.
Exactly.
Well, that's talking physical, but that can be in the mental world too.
Yeah,
That's
true.
interesting. That's interesting. But so right now it's not based on that because people can be shit hole diggers but still charge heaps.
Everyone's good at something. They may not be good at digging holes, but they'll be good at, fetching you a pail of water or climbing up a tree and getting you some fruit or something.
Then that's what I believe too. Why aren't the right people politicians? There are people I think who are good at leading people.
Because
Why aren't there more of them out there in
they
positions of power?
Because they're not the ones good at making deals.
That's exactly right, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's sad. That's true.
They're the ones who'll stand at the corner and greet you at an election or whatever, but for a small council election or something, but they don't make it all the way up because they're not the ones with the right contacts. They are not on the network. They don't make the deals with the right people. Simple.
And the whole anti-government, the whole hacker movement, Julia Assange and all those guys, and Snowden, are these guys helping? Are they actually something that we can look to, or they're just in it for themselves too? Another media whore kind of a thing.
You know what I think? I think their intentions are right. Julian Assange excluded. I don't know what his intentions are. I don't understand the way he does things, but I think the intentions are right. And some of them maybe even go about it the best way that there is, but the system's strong enough to turn it against them and make them look like the bad guy.
And do you think at the heart of what they're trying to do is to just empower us to be able to make our own decisions, at least?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you think we just give in to the laziness? Because it's easier to just give in and let it...
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. I can't help, so I'll just let it wash over me and do my own thing.
True.
I get it. We could all do more. I could do more. I just...
All they're trying to do is bring information that the people need to know to the people. That's it. As simple as that. They're providing a medium, which I don't think is being utilized enough or isn't accessible enough for whatever reason. I don't think enough information's out there as yet.
And then the government would say you're giving away secrets that hurt security. And security is a safe country, a safe society. Security is part of that. Like we said, the guy is the sheriff in the town.
Yep.
He has to break up the two guys fighting at least.
Yep.
And then he has to deal with them, give them a talking to, some sort of punishment. Well, the government thinks they're the big sheriff. And you
They
can't.
think they are. Yep, they are. Well, they are.
They are. And that I don't just mean America when I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
Australia, the UK, every government has its peacekeepers. It's a fact. You can't not have peacekeepers. If you want to call them police or military. But that's not to go off on a tangent. That's another thing too. I'm a peacekeeper because some guy said, here's this badge. Do you swear to do this? And he puts it on me. Now I am someone I have the authority to handcuff you and take you somewhere and
Yep.
judge you just because I have this symbol. That's a bit weird, don't you think? If you were
It
an alien
is.
looking at our society?
I think it meant more back in the day.
How back in the day?
I think-
How far back in the day?
Okay, I don't know how far back, but I think back in the day, from well, it's just screwed up now. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was like back in the day, but I think back in the day, they accepted more responsibility.
Just the people themselves?
No, the sheriff
Oh,
taking
yeah,
the
yeah.
oath
Yeah,
against
yeah.
it.
True.
Some of
true,
them even meant it.
True.
Now I don't think anyone really means it. It's a job.
There's some. I've
now
seen
it's,
some.
now it's just a job.
It's just a job.
Yep.
They're just dealing with the bullshit. They're
Pretty
just dealing
much.
with the wreckage of the day. I think
That's all it is.
sometimes I've seen some good cops. They have one-on-one conversations. They come up across a couple who's having a fight, and the whole neighborhood's going nuts, and they're throwing bottles at each other. And they sit down, and I have seen them have. Of course, this is on something like Cops, but that Cops is not. It's not edited in that they don't edit the situation. You know what
True.
I mean? They just record them and then they put them on TV. To be
Yeah.
honest, some cops, I think they are just people trying to help other people. But
Some
are they
of them
too?
are, yeah.
Is that percentage too small?
That's what I think. Or even a good cop on a bad day.
On a bad day? Yeah, we're all human. We all have
Yep.
emotions.
True.
So that is weird. Like, say we empower other other emotional beings who are psychologically complicated to be allowed to judge us in a situation because we gave him the symbol,
True.
and he has a car with lights on it. So we all say,
He
"Oh,
may not necessarily be fit to judge. But
that's
yeah,
right." But
exactly.
that's what people do. They go, "Oh, the police are here. They'll fix it." Don't you think that's? I think we're talking back in the old days. I think a family would try to fix it themselves first.
I think so too.
Your kid's out of
'Cause-
control. He's lighting firecrackers. You'd spank him on the butt. Well, that's a no-no now. You
Take an
can't spank your
example.
kid. You have to let him do whatever he wants.
Take an example of a domestic disturbance between like two family members
Yeah.
yelling at each other, and the cops get called in.
Yeah.
I think the cops are more clueless than the family members. I think the family members have a better chance of fixing it than the cops.
Because they know the situation.
Yeah.
They're close to the situation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. They've come into it blind and they want to assess it. But who are they to assess it?
No kidding.
I know they put cops through. I know they have psych tests. I know they have. They can't just be. Maybe I'm wrong. You can't be a dipshit and be a cop. But then again,
Some of them are.
some of them are dipshits. Well, then I don't know. Then I don't know. I just think
It's not possible.
it is possible if you keep it small and you, like you said, take
On a
take
small scale.
responsibility.
Yep.
Take
That too.
responsibility for yourself.
Yep.
By the way, I'm talking about if you're sane. Anybody who has any sort of psychological impairment, they don't count because that's something separate. If you're of sound mind
Yep.
and you're not taking care of yourself and your family, and you're the one out there with a gun and you're hurting someone, you're doing something wrong, that's totally on you.
No.
You're doing the wrong thing,
But-
and you're responsible for your stupid actions.
The other point you just raised, that it's on a small scale, yes, it's possible. Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. On a small scale, everything is more manageable
Yeah,
and it's easier to handle.
yeah, yeah. But if we had the HelpDesk ticketing system, it might help.
Yeah. Oh, it would definitely help.
I don't know.
How would it not?
And I suppose you can't just go to an island and create your own society because that's just ridiculous. Because you're not. What are you doing?
You don't have enough money for an island.
All, if you did,
Fair
you're not
enough.
helping. Because all you've done is you've left society to rot and thinking you're going to create
That's
your
off
own.
the grid again, though.
Yeah, but off the grid is still, I think, a fine line. I see a lot of these guys on YouTube. They still have to go shopping somewhere. They're not out there killing animals and stringing
growing
them
it.
up and eating them. They go to Walmart and buy turkey. So
True.
they're not off the grid. They're like half off the grid.
Yeah.
Okay? If
They need fuel.
they need fuel.
Yep.
They need propane. They need gas.
Exactly.
The sun, all right, that's the one they get. The sun. And I'm
That's-
sure the power companies hate that.
That's not
They
going
do.
to solve any problems.
No, but it's an interesting. It gives back to the people a bit, don't you think? Solar power is almost a like 5% empowering thing.
Yep.
Screw you! I'm going to get power from the planet. That's got to be worth something.
True.
I think we should expand more on that, on things that give us a way to unlock from the grid.
Okay. Let's move off.
No
to-
power bill.
Okay. Let's
pretty
move
good.
off if you were to go off the grid, how would you go about it?
Me personally,
Yep.
all right. This is not something I would want to do now, but in the future, if I start to get older and become a bit of a more hermit, weird guy or something, I could see me doing the kind of get like like an Airstream, kind of a very self-contained, very nice, sort of like a travel trailer or something, and do the travel around America thing or Australia or something. And no, I wouldn't be off the grid completely because I couldn't handle it. No, I'd still have to have technology. I'm sorry, I still like movies. I like music. I'd have media. I'd have a phone, but I would have solar for sure, absolutely. Water, I'd have to still get water.
I can think of a
I
better
can't
way to
make
do
water.
this. I can think of a better way to do this. Okay.
I want to be a tech off the grid hippie.
If you if you move to a farm by a stream,
Okay.
you got a solar field for your electricity.
Yeah, all right.
You got a continuous supply of water.
Yeah.
You drain pools off a little further down the stream.
Yeah.
You got animals for meat,
Okay.
cows for milk,
Yeah.
and you got a veggie pad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What more do you need? What am I missing?
I still had to buy the land. I'm sure I'm somehow paying land rates. I'm paying someone something.
So it
There's
can
no way
be-
to have your own
so-
land forever.
So it can be done though.
Yeah. Cultivating your own food, and
Yeah.
if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well then there comes the lazy factor. No way known that everybody has the stamina and physical, mental stamina to say, I'm going to learn how to live off the land. So that's a very small percentage of the world.
And on top of that, I can think of problems with it already. You'd eventually get sick of it. You can do it. You can only do it for so long.
Yeah, you get tired.
Yeah.
I just would rather go and buy a burger from McDonald's because I'm getting tired.
Oh, I feel like Mexican. I
Yeah,
don't go any peppers.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's problem number one.
I know. We go to the store, kids look at the meat, they just think it falls out of the sky. If they knew what went into killing this animal, I'm not going there. But that's, you know what I mean? We're so desensitized by where everything comes from, it's unbelievable. It comes from the store. Everything comes from the store.
Yeah, it does actually.
They don't know that there are farmers out there. They're doing the thing, the cows, the milk, growing the corn, killing the animals for us. They do all the ugly shit. That's what it is. We have hired people.
Our hands are clean,
We've hired people to do our dirty work. Yeah, our hands are clean.
pretty much.
I buy a McDonald's burger. That's the cleanest thing in the world. It comes all prepackaged. It just goes in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Drink the Coke. Well, that's living off the grid for real is very complicated. But also that's
Not
not.
impossible, but complicated.
But that I didn't mean necessarily off the grid. I just meant Utopian Society, as we all need to get along a little bit better.
That's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of it is we're shown so much in the media, and we work in media, funny enough, but we're just shown so much of how we should be. Are you sold on that personally? You don't have to answer that, but are you sold on the whole? You feel like you have to be a certain thing. You're chasing certain things, whether you know it or not. A lifestyle, an idea, the right job, the right clothes.
A lifestyle, yes.
Yeah, you're chasing a lifestyle.
Chasing one.
Yeah, yeah.
Nowhere close.
A different one than you have now.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's see.
Do you think everyone should just chill a bit and relax? That would help, for first of all.
But yeah, it would
Just chill
just
out a
slow
bit.
it down a bit.
You know, and look, we won't talk about it now, but another time we should talk about something like the shootings in America. I don't know if that's a subject you'd want to talk about, but that's a whole other subject.
Don't
but-
get me started on that.
Well, I think we should. That'd be another one we should do, definitely. But that's, and I have a unique situation. Both of us.
Yeah.
I'm an American. I've lived in Australia for 17 years now. I think anyone who's from someone else has a unique vision to see that I've lived in another country now where there are no guns, not even the possibility of that. And I do think that's interesting. But again, that's another subject to talk about. America has definitely that problem,
No,
first of all. Yeah,
It's-
let's not start
yeah,
that
let's
one.
not
Yeah,
go
that's
there.
too big. That's
Fair
big.
enough.
I think we will do that another
Yeah.
time for sure, though. But yeah, the Zendesk I think would help, really, to just start to logically create a help center to help people. For real, it could totally be done. Just
Yeah.
simple and like legit things, not
Okay,
oh, you know,
How many times?
my wife's driving me nuts. Come on, man.
How many
Legit.
times have you had problems where you said, "Oh, I wish I had some help with this"?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Easy.
And I'm sure there's things out there, there's call centers, but they always say like, oh, we're overwhelmed, we're overwhelmed. We'll get more people.
Yeah.
Throw more people at it.
Exactly.
India.
That's it.
Throw India at it. Solve
Done.
the world's problems. Done. All right. Well, that's all we've done so far. Is we've solved the world's problems for a ticketing system.
Yep. That's
But-
pretty much
But
it.
not a utopian society.
Yeah. Nowhere close to
That's all
done
right.
yet.
That's all right. Next time. That was fantastic. We're definitely going to talk again.
Yep. For
Um,
sure.
Maybe we'll talk about guns. I know that's another taboo subject no one wants to talk about.
Don't
but
get me
that's good.
started.
All right. We'll wrap this one up, but I'll talk with Gautam again and check out more great stuff on Paradigm TV and check out CoffeePod again because you never know what we're going to talk about. See ya.
See ya.